All right. We are back. Another week. Another opportunity to make lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of levels. All right. Let me get all this sorted here. Make sure everything's set up. Get where y'all can hear me okay. All right. Let's go and get logged into Perforce. Oh, my camera's a little off. It's annoying. How about right there? Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Honestly, it would have been fine, but I have OCD, so when, like slowly graded my psyche down more so than it already is. Alright. Alright. Let's move on over to the dungeon. Let's see where we last left off. We were kind of talking about maybe adding a new wing on this end over here. Yeah, okay. So last we left off, we had more or less finished up this room. It's not completely done, obviously. It needs, to be honest, a lot of like set dressing and what I would consider like, what do you call it? I guess set dressing is like the appropriate term. But basically just ways to differentiate different parts of it, add things like wires, computers, decals, more non-core level design stuff. Oh man, this light is, bias is too intense. Then adjust the slope bias. That's just one of those things where if you want perfect lighting, you kind of got to go with either ray tracing or a higher shadow resolution. Oh boy. For our sake, we're going to keep it really low, though. Even lower the screen percentage. of them kill me. Those messages in the top right. Oh no! All screen messages. I don't want to just disable some. I want to disable all of them. Ah, man, I can't get over how good this water looks. All right. Well, yeah, like I was saying, this room's looking pretty good in terms of like layout and just general aesthetic and everything in the two modes. The version with no water and then the version with water. But from here, I'm thinking at some point we definitely want to connect this with this over here, but I think we would be better served to build yet another arena over here. I think that'll be fun. So the only thing I'm kind of concerned about right now is there's currently only one way over here, so I need to incorporate what would you call it, like side paths and everything to like sync up. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna build the arena first. It doesn't make sense like building all these paths and then, you know, having to readjust the general scale and size and placement of the arena. I'm gonna delete these walls and pull this in just a little bit. Oh, missed one. Yeah, currently this level has essentially three, well, I guess technically four separate aesthetics that are showing. So we've got, you know, your standard industrial aesthetic, which is just, you know, metal and concrete. And obviously this is going to be dressed up even more. But most of the rooms are going to be more along the lines of like these walls here versus just like the same kind of like repeating pattern over and over and over. And then we have, you know, rock and stone, sand and rock and that general vibe. Then we've got the water room, which is also a mud room technically. Not the kind you bathe in. And it's not a spa, it's just a room full of mud. And then we've got kind of like a terrarium where a lot of the evil scientists in this underground base are experimenting on some local wildlife. But here, I'm thinking this is going to be more of like a computer room, like just a bunch of terminals. And I'm thinking this is also going to be where we have a lot of the the NPCs held. So these guys being held captive. Oh, they're a lot smaller than I read. Hey, welcome to the stream. Bread Orange 12. Ooh. Is your name Bread Orange because bread is orange, or is it actually orange bread? Orange bread sounds pretty tasty. Either way, welcome to the stream. What we're going over right now is just some levels I'm working on for our game Captain McSpacebiff. I'm designing a couple different puzzles, as well as just general non-linear level design with different environments where you can interact with different NPCs, different enemies, and I'm designing it where the player can kind of do it in a non-linear fashion. The general aspect of our game Captain McSpacebiff is it is an open world kind of Atom Punk mix of first-person shooting and third-person melee. So we're really big fans of, you know, first-person shooters like this. In fact, if you look above me, you can see some other gameplay from Captain McSpacebiff as well as our other games. But yeah, we were really big fans of like first-person shooting over, you know, third-person. just because we felt, it's a little bit more immersive, but we also like third-person combat in games like Dark Souls and God of War and that kind of stuff. So we felt, we wanted some melee combat in our game, so we decided to kind of do two different modes. You kind of switch between them on the fly, and they offer different varieties of like traversal. You get like power-ups and stuff like as you go throughout the game. So like being able to like dodge in the air, and actually being able to like dodge through enemies to hurt them. That's kind of cool. The premise of the game is you have crash landed on a desolate moon on the far side of space, kind of checking in on a colony of planet America, of which you are a captain of in the military. Basically, this colony went dark, a long time ago, and you were sent to go investigate it. And you show up just to find that everything is kind of gone awry, and it's your job to save the less than competent locals from the scourges of the Soviet Union, and maybe some aliens. Who knows? I don't want to spoil anything too much. Show the rolling through them to hurt them. If I can get close enough. There we go. Yeah, it's like one of the power-ups. But yeah, this is some level design we're working on. Right now, we just finished working on this room here where there's two different modes. Where when you first enter it, there's no water in the room, and all these pylons are jutted into the floor. I'm just gonna show that real quick. Kind of like that. And you can fight a bunch of grubs, which are kind of like skags from Borderlands. Basically, they're just a bipedal, sandwormy looking creature, melee based. Anyway, kind of come into this room. Got to kick on some power. You want to enter this door here, but the power doesn't go all the way through because the wires have been chewed. So in order to get the current flowing, you have to kick on the water for this room. So you have to turn the electricity on. The wire splits, and one of the wires brings you all the way over here, opens this door, and then once you're in here, you can kick on the power to the water pump. The water fills the room. These pylons come back up, and all the water becomes electrified at that point. And from there, all the grubs are now dead because, they can't swim and everything's electrified. But now these drones are going to spawn, and you kind of have to, I'm ignoring them right now, but you kind of have to fight them while avoiding the electrified water. You get a key card from in here, and, you go on your merry way. This is just like one of the rooms in the dungeon. Take that magnum there. It'd be better if I was a better shot, but I promise you, the combat's fun. I enjoyed it anyway. And then, let me see if I can do the dodge to oop. Did like a super jump there. But yeah, that's where we left off last time. So this time, I think we're gonna work on a kind of like old computer bank room that's been flooded with sand. Because bread is orange. I love it. Bread is orange. That is very true. Bread. But yeah, I think what we're gonna do here is I think we're gonna make a mostly sandy arena. I need to retexture paint all this, but this is going to be an arena where all these little NPC guys are being held. So there's two factions in this game. There's Planet America and the Soviet Union. Planet America is the one you fight for. These guys are all the remnants of the original colonists from, like 200 years ago, and they're pretty dumb now. They've been drinking the water through lead pipes and eating nothing but hot dogs and drinking Coca-Cola. So their diets are not very good. Their education system's terrible. And they're just generally just kind of befuddled, not very good at taking care of themselves. So it's kind of your job to save them. The Soviet Union, however, is a little bit more competent. They're generally incompetent, but compared to the colonists, they're basically Einstein, right? I'll actually show you. Soviet. Nope. Yeah, there we go. These are the Spetsnaz. They're, as you can see, a little bit more intimidating. Kind of sharper and snappier dressed. They have less, mustard stains on their uniform. They keep it pressed. They stay in shape. This is more like that's like a better version of them, right? They're like, a little bit thicker, stronger. They've been hitting the weights. So yeah, you got to save these guys from all of them. But yeah, one of the main things I do while, working on these levels is I just kind of talk about whatever, to be honest. Half the time, I don't even stay on the subject of game development because sometimes there's just not much to talk about when you're working on a game, right? You're just so in the weeds, looking at a wall, changing a vert, a millimeter to the left, millimeter to the right, then up and down, and then whatever. So I'll just kind of go on tangents. I think the other week I went on a tangent talking about a kids movie from the 90s called Stuart Little. I don't want to open up that can of worms again, but yeah. But at the same time, I will occasionally, while making a level, talk about the kind of pros and cons of different styles of level design, techniques you can use, that sort of thing. Let's see. We don't want this arena to be too big because it's not really a boss arena, right? This is more so almost like a mini boss arena, but without the mini boss. The idea for this level is it is a underground Soviet Union testing facility where they are kidnapping and trying to convert these Planet American NPCs to the cause of the Soviet Union. Generally, how the Soviet Union in this universe operates is they let Planet America, which has far more resources and manpower, go and colonize planets on the far reaches of space. And once all the hard work is done of the terraforming and building bases and just laying infrastructure, they send essentially AI and robots after them to kind of reap the rewards. What is going on here? Oh, I was using smooth. And that's mainly because they don't have the manpower to send people themselves. But with the Soviet Union, their main MO is converting people to the cause of the Soviet Union. Because that's far easier, right? Rather than, invest all the money and resources into sending people into space, you let someone else go into space, do all the hard work, and then, once they've set up a colony, you just send a couple robots and some pamphlets and, maybe a lifelike human model AI and try and convert them to the ways of your government and thinking. And then from there, so on and so forth. That's how, to be honest, that's kind of how the Soviet Union in the 60s was operating, right? They would get people, like actual, they were trying to convert like actual Americans to the causes and thinkings of the Soviet Union. And then, you know, parties were forming. Got to the point where, you know, the government like didn't know who to trust and all that stuff. So this is the premise of our game is kind of like, what if we won the Cold War, right? It's like one of those just like kind of goofy ideas. So basically we won the Cold War, but the Soviets beat us in the space race. So we kind of started colonizing everywhere on Earth. Well, not colonizing, but like converting everyone to the ways of Americana. But a rogue sliver of the Soviet Union beat us in the space race and founded a giant moon colony on the dark side of the moon. And because we beat the Soviets in every other way, we had no more reason to go to the moon anymore. Because that was like one of the main reasons that we wanted to go to the moon, was because we wanted to beat the Soviets. That might be too steep. We're going to flatten this out a little bit. And once I flatten it out, smooth the edges. And then I think we're going to paint it. What do y'all think? I'm thinking we're going to paint this like a nice sand. One of those nice sand colors. Then I'll probably smooth that out a little bit. These are not subtractive blends, so I do another layer with a different coat of sand. What's nice about the layering is you can kind of create different textures just by blending them with different opacities. That's why I have like essentially 3 different versions of sand. We have like a black sand, got like a regular like orange sand, and then like a lighter sand, and then also stuff like this where it's more so kind of like a pebbly sand. Very stylized, but I think it looks good. Will, our artist, I say our artist, but like he's not the only other dev on the team. Will did a very good job of making this like very stylized, like almost Borderlands looking texture. Has a tendency to kind of make you think of like a mine of some kind, right? Okay, let's drop in and get a sense of scale, because I have a feeling this is a lot larger than I can already tell it's too big, but I'll be the judge of that. You know what? It's not terrible. Especially if I add like a bunch of rocks and like terraces in here. Bro, what are you doing? You don't need to be. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Hello, meat bag. Well, that's not nice. Oh, that's right, because this was like our dialogue for a skeleton. That's funny. I wonder if I want to make this like I was thinking like this could be like a cavern of some kind. Like they did just actually use different rocks and stuff. That's not the rock I want. Man. There it is. Okay. Yeah, this is more like a cliff face type rock, but I think it's gonna work. really good for what we're gonna do with it. I think I can kind of get away with making a cavern out of this. It's not what it was intended for, but that's one of the things you do with level design. You kit bash the crap out of everything. One, saves time. That's actually the main reason. Two, saves resources in terms of just how the game runs. A good example in recent memory, I saw some video. I haven't played it yet, but Black Myth Wukong. People call it a Souls-like. I don't think it's a Souls-like, but close enough, I guess. I saw some instances of assets being reused in a very creative way and a pretty standard way in Black Myth Wukong, right? Like one of the instances was, I think it was like a stone wall where, you know, it had like a bunch of different rock faces and they were all like rotated and it looked like super nice and polished. Had some very pretty, you know, texture design and tessellation and normal maps and just grittiness. But when I looked at it in the video, you could kind of tell it was like 2 or 3 rocks just rotated just over and over and over. And that's actually a really useful technique when it comes to environment and level design. I don't know. I think you probably more consider it environment design, since the level design is generally grayscale. Some people don't do grayscale. Some people just jump directly into art, especially if you have kits that you can work with. Then the kind of barrier between environment designer and level designer blurs a lot. Good example of a company that kind of works that way is Bethesda. And the reason I know they work that way is because they have a whole kit bash system, right? I don't even know if you'd call it a kit bash system. It's basically, they've got like templates and stuff. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the stream, Lawless. Good to have you, as always. I am just rambling about kit bashing and the advantages it has in regards to level design and why it's so good, and how I saw some good stuff in Black Myth Wukong using kit bashing, and that game is like considered graphically really impressive, right? Yeah, you know, even super like high fidelity AAA games with massive budgets, they use kit bashing. It's probably less noticeable because they have more assets to do it with, but you know, if you have a rock that can be rotated 8 different ways and it looks good, do that. That makes way more sense than having to make a whole new asset for something. There's just too many advantages of it. One, it's one less draw call, right? Is that right terminology? My brain's not working today. But basically, it's one less material instance, right? Because it's using the same material as the other rocks. And that's kind of what I'm doing right here. I'm kind of building this like cavern, right? And it's the same cliff face over and over and over and over and again and again and again and again until you're just sick of it. But, you know, if it works, it works. I'm gonna need a light source in here. This interior is looking more exterior. Yeah, I know. It's it is going to be a cavern that they have built into. So you gotta trust the process, right? Conceptually, it's gonna be kind of similar to this down here. Are you sure you want a cavern in here? Because we could have a separate cavern level. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. You can use concepts in more than one place. Like a cavern level itself is going to be a lot more different than this, right? What I'm essentially doing right now is giving a like backboard canvas that I can build onto. This is not the level, right? There's going to be a lot more variety in this. It's going to be like mostly solid structures, but I was kind of inspired by looking at like old like Soviet salt mines, where, you know, part of those like salt mines will be like big brutalist concrete, and then the rest is like, you know, carved into stone, and then from there it like bleeds into like normal cavern. But yeah, this is also the main reason. It's just easy, right? I'm trying to get this level done. And these are giant chunks of geometry that I can place down quickly that don't repeat a lot and don't need a lot of detail. So it's easier than making 100 new pieces. We've got a limited amount of time and we're developing 2 games. So any creative corner cutting I will do as often as possible. But only if it's cool, right? We're not going to do lame stuff. I don't think using up all of our kit in one level is an issue, right? Because the whole point of this is to kind of just show McSpacebiff and get people interested in McSpacebiff. I think it's better to use what we have than not to for this, right? Because I'm kind of thinking of this as like, okay, this is our publisher pitch build. We want it to like really wow. And we want a lot of variety because variety looks good in video. And kind of gives a better impression of the game overall. As opposed to like, if you just do just interior, people think you can only do interiors. I was talking about that last time on stream. That was like one of the big problems with Root. When we showed people Root, they're like, oh, wow, cool. You made Neon Office. And oh, look, more Neon Office. Okay. Is there anything? No, it's just more Neon Office. And, you know, they want to believe that you can make more variety of environment, but there's no proof. So I think it's better to use your entire kit for publisher pitch builds. And then, you know, you make levels based off of those individual kits, because you can still make that interesting, right? Just because one level has a variety of environments doesn't mean all of them have to have that much variety. There's still a lot of cool things you can do with just one palette. That's my general idea. I'm just kind of thinking of it as like, well, we get kind of one shot, right? You get one shot, one chance. Do you take it? Was that Eminem? I don't remember. Yeah. Spacing different types of environments is more interesting. But if I'm being entirely honest, this is not really a lot of variety of environment. It's all just kind of gray interior and sand. The only variety is this right here, right? I'm gonna let you know. Staring at nothing but gray interiors kind of boring, and we don't have enough materials to differentiate different areas right now, and we kind of don't have the time to sit down and make more materials. So I'm working with what we got. But yeah, for like the actual game, I would much rather it be like, yeah, you're in the jungle zone, and it's like it's jungle for a while. Then you're in the desert zone, and it's desert for a while. And then maybe you mix two environments where it's like, okay, this is jungle and building, and then desert and building, and you know, that kind of thing. But for this particular level, I'm thinking really it's not a ton of variety, right? There's no green grass, there's not a lot of water, there's no jungle, there's no ice, there's no lava. It's all sand and metal. And to be honest, I could probably make this arena also all dirt. I'd be fine with that. But it looks too cool. And I don't really see a reason for it, right? Like, we would just be better off making more levels. You got to remember that, like, this is not full McSpacebiff. This is get a publisher, get some wish lists, and get some money McSpacebiff. It's like mini Biff. It's going to be the open world with, you know, a few open world missions, and then, you know, the end level, like the big level. It's not even big, right? Like, this level could probably be done in 30, 45 minutes. Probably quicker, honestly, because you don't really travel that far. You go here, fight a couple enemies. You go here, fight a couple enemies. This is the only room that kind of slows you down, because you have to do like a puzzle. But everything else is just kind of breeze through it. Oh. I was wondering why I couldn't see it. But yeah, in general, I like kind of environments being their own thing, right? I think I would much rather have like a jungle zone or a like a watery ocean, seaside, that kind of stuff. What do I want the lighting to be like? What to do? Have to redesign some things. You have to excuse me. I'm trying to think of how I want to connect all this. Pushing in through here does fix the problem I had earlier where it felt like this wasn't really leading anywhere. But I gotta like essentially destroy all this. I can't. Okay, as long as it's not pushing it over here, that's fine. Okay, so this level is gonna cut into over here. Oh, actually, you know, that would be kind of cool. I was thinking like maybe there was a observation room over here that you could like see from down here. No, actually that wouldn't work. The level's all wrong. By the level, I mean like actual height. All right, well, let me destroy this and this. And then this and this and this. Scale this up. Ew. That didn't go as well as I'd hoped. What? What if I just... Ooh, nope. Nope, nope, nope. This is not quite what I wanted. Need this to go back. Pull it back that way. Wait, what? Is there another point? Why? Why? That's why. Makes a lot more sense now. I know I'm just muttering to myself, but I'm trying to figure this bridge out. Kind of want it to like follow the wall there. This needs to rotate. This needs to get pulled back. We're gonna need a replacement for this bridge at some point anyway, so doesn't gotta be perfect, but better than it does would be nice. I'm gonna destroy that there. Gonna take this off the grid. Then there, and then oh, this is gonna like, it's gonna cause like a cascade of changes, but that's okay. It's for the general betterment of the level. I think that's a little bit cleaner anyway. And then I suppose now I'll just move all these little by little by little. There. Ooh, corner. Not Croner. Not Crooner. Corner. Oh, actually, I think it's just 45. The 45 floor. Yeah, that's it. I'll take that off the grid too. Put that there, and then trim. I was gonna cut it in like that, but I think I'm just gonna use a wall half. If I had one, there it is. I do kind of like that. Yeah, there you go. That like kind of makes sense, right? Well, it's a little annoying having to go around, but use an angle. Nope. Why am I doing that? I'll just borrow this. I'm just giving myself more work. Then get rid of that. Bring this over. And then I'll just take it off the grid for a second. Make it where the Z's are not fighting so much. That like flickering, that's referred to as Z fighting for those of you who do not know. And I think I'm just gonna change the bit to floor. Ooh, no. You know what? Floor half is probably better for this. Because I imagine I probably set the tiling to be more correct. If not, I just did all that for nothing. Oh, no, whatever. I'm already going out of my way to do this, so I'll just stretch it. Good enough. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut into this arena over here. I could. There's ways to cut through terrain and geometry, but for this case, I don't think it's necessary. I think I'm just going to switch it to be a flat terrain in that area. I am still wondering if like making the player like zigzag is like a little too annoying. Oh, you know what? I just found a solution right here in my head. I don't have to make them zigzag. I can just put like a rock here. Something like that. Boom. Something for like the players who are not more adept, but like would think to jump up it, right? Gotta do it in a way that looks natural, though. Oh, natural ramp. Because you still need the ramp for the enemies to be able to make it up there, right? But player can always have some more interesting ways to traverse. That side might be better. Yeah, that side looks more like a ramp. actually flatten that out a bit. I don't want to stretch the UVs too much. It's always something to be like very mindful of when you're building something like this out. Very mindful. I guess it doesn't need to be like super obvious. It has to be there. Just like kind of enough to give them the idea. Let me try it. Oh yeah, that's like perfect. In fact, I can probably make it a little more steep and tuck it in some more. And then tilt it just a smidge. Bring that back down. Scale it up. Nice. Oop. It's clipping through the floor, but other than that, nice. See, because that's like kind of natural looking. Now they have like another ramp that they can take up this way. Cuts down that like tedium of like going back and forth, but structurally this is sound. Now the enemies have a way to go through. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Guess what? What? Did you do it? Did you finally do it? Did you finally? Yeah, you got a new computer. Round of applause for our boy Otten. He's been dealing with some computer trouble for basically since we've started streaming. He's been essentially trying to work in Unreal on a kerosene powered cheese grater. A toaster that runs on hopes and dreams. And if any of you have ever worked in Unreal before, you know, not exactly a light engine. So happy for you, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, your game's dope, and I'm ready to see you really get back at it. Gets here tomorrow. Nice. Nice. Yeah, you've I'm sure that's like super exciting, right? For the longest time, I had a computer that was like just trash. I think it was like an iBuyPower PC. Yes, 32 gigabytes of memory. Nice. An RTX 4070 and 2 terabyte SSD and an Intel Core i7. Man! You got it better than I do. I'm running, I think it's like an RTX. I almost said 3080. No, it's a 2080. I do have 32 gigabytes of RAM, and then my, oh man, cost me $1,500. Wow. Yeah, that ain't nothing. You wanna see what I'm running? This is what I'm running. I don't know if y'all can see that. So I'm running a 16 core AMD Ryzen Threadripper 7950X. It's a 16 core processor with 32 logical processors running at 5.3 gigahertz, which is insane, right? And then if I like go into the game, you won't be able to see it, but hold on. if I like run the game at all, my GPU is gonna go to max. Probably not right now, but it's such a stupid bottleneck for having this powerful of a CPU. It's like I have like an $800 CPU and then like a old graphics card. Yeah, dude, that's a sick computer, man. Happy for you. Always good to see friends and fellow devs make it out of the dedicated graphics card old laptop slums. But yeah, since the last time you were here, we made a whole new room. It's a dual puzzle room. It's got both the water and the sand and the pylons, and obviously it needs like set dressing and stuff. But I don't know if you were here for the original like concept of it. But yeah, basically it's when you first enter this room, when you first get in here, all these pylons here are going to be in the ground. They're going to be a different color, don't worry. You're trying to get into this room. There's going to be a locked door on every side. Here, and here. There's going to be no power going to it. Can you swim? Not currently, but also you wouldn't be able to swim in this water anyway, which I'm about to explain why. So when you first drop down into this arena, right, you're going to fight some grubs. And this door over here is going to be locked, and these doors up here are going to be locked even though you can't reach them. There's going to be electrical box in this room over here, so you have to do like this like little jumping puzzle to like get up, and then you activate the power and you think, okay, the power, you know, there's going to be a cord that like drapes down and like goes to a power box right here to the door, but it's going to be chewed up from all the grubs, right? But there's going to be another cord that goes over this way to a box. So once you activate the electricity over there, this door is now openable. And once you get into this room, you can pull a lever and it will fill the room full of water as well. As activate these pylons that come up. And now the electrical cable that is frayed has current that can send to this here, and all this water will be electrified. So you won't be fighting grubs on the second time through the room. You'll be fighting drones. So you'll have to jump, you know, between the pylons, dodge the attacks of the drones. Come in here, get the key card, and then be on your merry way. Yeah, so it's like a 2-tier puzzle room, right? Super simple. There's not really a way to mess it up. But it ensures that the way the room plays is different 2 different times, because you'll be on the ground fighting the grubs, which are like very close quarters melee based enemies. You'll be like running through here. And then second time around, you'll be fighting less drones, but with the added stress of having to jump between the pylons. And if you touch the water, you get electrocuted and die. And then we send you, you know, like in the level, we just like send you back here, right? But yeah, kind of cool. I like the concept. And it's just a way to like add a little bit more variety to this level. That said, we haven't like gone back and like done a set dressing pass or like changed materials or anything. But so yeah, that's that room. That just gave you an idea with classic water slowly rising. Yeah, that kind of thing is like always a really cool level concept. There was a level in Zelda Wind Waker where you fought like this like giant bird, in a spiral tower, and it's like attacking the walls, and you're running around, but the whole time the water is rising. If you spend too long, Link can't swim in that game, so he'll drown. So there's like a lot of pressure of you like doing these puzzles as you're like moving around, and the bird's attacking you, and then the water's also rising. Yeah, water rising levels are like super stressful, but if done right, they can be really, really cool. Especially if you have like a lot of like movement mechanics, right? Yeah, I like McSpacebiff isn't a puzzle game, right? But I do like puzzle elements. Like, you wouldn't say... I think it'd be pretty hard to argue that Half-Life is a puzzle game, right? Like, it's mostly a shooter. But it has puzzle elements in it. And those, like, little excerpts from, like, the standard game, to me, are kind of like some of the highlights in it. That's what makes it stand out from, like, you know, every other boomer shooter. Speaking of puzzles, we're considering putting some in Deadlock. Will is currently working on some some grip and like slide mechanic stuff for it. It works for like cocking shotguns and like racking guns, but it can also be used for like turning and like pulling things in the environment. So we're thinking we might have some puzzles in Deadlock. Don't quote us on it, but it's something I think we're gonna try to attempt down the road after our locomotion update. Half-Life is a puzzle game, yes, but it's a simple puzzle. Half-Life 2 is more puzzles than Half-Life 1. Yeah. Yeah, but I think just in general, it would be kind of hard to consider Half-Life a puzzle game, right? Like, someone who likes just puzzle games, you'd be kind of hard-pressed to recommend them Half-Life, because that's not the majority of the game. Hey, welcome. Are you a Deadlock game dev? I am a Deadlock game dev. Might not be the Deadlock you're thinking of, but I am a Deadlock game dev. This is another game I'm working on called Captain McSpacebiff. It's a first-person shooter / third-person brawler. I work with my other teammate Will. We're a two-man team, and we are the creators of a couple games: Deadlock, Captain McSpacebiff, which is this one, and also the one showing above my head. A game called Root, which is a first-person stealth action game. And then another game called Denizen, which is like a mystery horror first-person game. But Deadlock is our VR game. We didn't steal the name from Valve. Let me just put that out there. We started development on it in 2016. We wanted to do locomotion. We actually were one of the first games to try locomotion in VR. But all the feedback we got from people trying to play it were like, this makes me sick. I'm going to throw up. I don't like this. Stick with room scale. And we're like, okay, well, it's not really what we wanted to do with the game, so I guess maybe we'll come back to it. And then, we started working on some other games. And now that we have a little bit more experience under our belts, and after a myriad of other reasons, we're now working on Deadlock again. That's the gameplay of it right there above me. And we're now adding locomotion and a bunch of different guns, and it's now feeling a lot more like John Wick in VR, but like with a Tron aesthetic. Yeah, no, I don't work on the Valve game. I'm sure it's super cool, but yeah, it's ours is it's a neon neon arcadey shooter, kind of in the likeness of like Nazi zombies. Yeah, dude, I gotta say, some of the stuff we're working on for, well, obviously, like, I like McSpacebiff a lot, and I think our game McSpacebiff has more, like, general broad appeal, because it has, like, some RPG mechanics. It's got, third-person brawling, in the vein of, like, Dark Souls, right? And then also, some first-person shooting. See if I can shoot that guy from way over there. Oh, no, I just made him angry. Let me jump over and get closer. There we go. That's what I like. Oh, jeez. Oh, well, dang. If I'd fallen in that water in the final level, that would have electrocuted me. But yeah, we're super excited for the stuff we're about to show for Deadlock. We decided to completely rebuild the project. It originally was in Unity, but now we're Unreal devs, and we like things like ray tracing and blueprint and all that kind of stuff. I would be a game dev myself, but it's kind of hard. Yeah, honestly, I mean, we've been doing this for, between the two of us, a little over 20 years. We started, I actually got started, as well as the other dev, Will, by modding Fallout 3, right? We started by, just like really being fans of games, and, we wanted to try and create our hometown in Fallout. And, we got decently far in it, but we realized working in Bethesda's spaghetti code that, we didn't know anything about was pretty difficult. So we're like, oh man, working someone else's code is super hard. So yeah, it would just be easier if we just like go and do our own thing. We found out game dev is hard. And especially back then, there wasn't really any documentation online. Like you could maybe find books in libraries or something, but man, it was tough. But back then it was 4 of us. It was we were like a little 4-man team, and we had it split up between programming, art, level design, and audio. And then we kind of all dabbled in everything. 2 years for me, going on 3 years in a month. Hey, congrats, man! Yeah, you're getting close. You're getting close. Also, like, dude, from what I've seen, I would not have guessed that you've been working on stuff for 3 years. Your stuff is clean. Specifically, your animations are very, very good. But yeah, I wouldn't sell yourself short, because there's a lot of materials that just exist now. If you have an idea of something you want to make, or just the genre, I wouldn't say that you couldn't do it. I mean, it's definitely difficult, right? I don't want to undersell the amount of work it takes to get something, working in an engine, or just even a firing executable, right? But there's aspects that you can start on game dev, and especially in Unreal, you have things like Blueprint, right? Where you can kind of work on other people's templates. I saw a really cool, like, what was it? It's like a third-person stealth action game. I think the template was like $50, right? And obviously it's going to be limited, but, tweaking those variables and, maybe adding in your own art, learning some animation, picking up Blender. There's so many tutorials out there. So don't ever think that you can't do something like this, right? Because especially every day, technology is getting better and better and better. And me personally, I think now is one of the best times to get into game dev. Like if I could de-age myself by 10 years and be starting in game dev, I would so much rather be starting right now, right? So don't say that you can't do it because it's difficult. You gotta believe in yourself, man. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you? I am exactly 30. Yeah, I'm old. I'm decrepit. Yeah, as far as like game devs go, I'm actually, I think, pretty average in age. I don't do this as my full-time job. This is actually something I do just kind of for fun on the side, right? I'm a hobbyist, but I do take it very seriously. I used to do it full-time. All the games you're seeing above me are things I've made with my friends, with Will, the other dev on our team. There are Discords. I met some guys from big game companies. Yeah. And the nice thing about the game dev industry, especially in the indie scene, it's very encouraging. 30, you look like at most 22. Oh man, no, I wish. It's probably just because the lighting is getting blown out, but I am like up close. I'm a lot more haggard, and then also the hairline is not that of a 22-year-old. But appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I've been doing this for a little over 10 years, but I took a long hiatus kind of in the middle, right? Because sometimes, life happens and you have to kind of set your dream aside and, buckle down and, get some money, get a job, pay some bills, and then, once you're a little more okay, you can come back to it. That doesn't mean to give up on it. It just means, okay, I can't do that right now. It's also, it's never too late to start either. One of my favorite sayings is, one of the best times to plant a tree is 30 years ago. The next best time is right now. So, yeah. Well, and also it's like when life gets in the way, don't let it get you down too much, right? Like if you're passionate about something, you start to find the time, right? Like you find like little piecemeal times. Yeah, like what Anton said. It's only impossible if you think it's impossible, right? You'd be surprised where you can scrape out the time and what you're capable of when you really set your mind to it. It's hard to do it because it does require discipline. And that's actually the number one thing, right? Like passion's great, skill is good, dedication, inspiration, all those things are great. But the number one thing is consistency and discipline. Those are the two biggest things, right? Because, a lot of times I don't want to work on this, right? I'm not, I'm just not in the mood, or maybe I'm not feeling a creative spark, but I find something I can do that can, kind of push my attention towards it. So like even if like I'm just completely burnt out, right? Maybe I'll watch some game design videos, or maybe I'll go play a game for some inspiration. From Sweden, just graduated about 4 months ago. Well, hey, congratulations for graduating. That's no small feat in its own. You'd be surprised how many people over here don't graduate. About 4 months ago. Are you talking about, I'm guessing just from primary school, not college? But if college, extra round of applause, that's commendable. College, oh, wow. You're, I'll tell you this. You're doing better than me. I don't have a college education. I am completely self-taught. I have no papers. If I got pulled over in papers, please, they'd kick me out of the country. Hey, congrats. What'd you go to school for, if you don't mind me asking? Never went to school. I'm self-taught as well. Yeah, a lot of indie devs are self-taught. Funny enough, I don't even do anything game development related for like my day job. I'm an e-commerce programmer at a a skincare company of all things, which I really like my job, but game dev is definitely my passion, right? It's very different in Sweden and US. In Sweden, you don't have to pay for education. That's very true. Yeah, having the benefit of not paying, pretty huge. Because a lot of people, it's just, it's expensive, What is going on here? Why is it? Oh, I think I know what's going on. Never mind. I have no idea what's going on. It's like one of these is offset. Is this one not on cell snap? I don't know what's happening. Oh well. I'll take these off really good. Do like that. Excuse me. Grid. Let me move. There we go. That's looking better. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the stream, Sim Cook. Speaking of other game devs, here's one popping in right now. You graduated as an electrician. Oh, dude, I mean, don't get me wrong. Game dev's great. Programming, fantastic. E-commerce, we need it. Everything is sold online these days, but the world needs more electricians, right? My grandfather was an electrician for 50 years. He did some of the wiring in Walt Disney World for the Contemporary Resort, and then a bunch of other things in like Tampa, Florida, and just houses and infrastructure and everything. And blue collar traits, like technical traits, are dying, right? Because no one wants to learn how to do them. Because it's harder than sitting on your butt all day, but it's one of the most admirable jobs, because if we don't have people like you, we don't have infrastructure, man. I can't, like, as much as I love doing game development, I can't make games if I don't have the electricity going to my computer. So hats off to you, man. Yeah, but it's not my thing. Really wish I could go back and get my grades up. Yeah, well, like I said, find the thing that is going to pay the bills, make the money, right? See if you can do it in a way that, doesn't really completely tap you and drain you. And then do the things you're passionate about on the side. Holy crap. Everyone in this chat is like getting better rigs. That's hilarious. I'm Sim Cook. Well, one of the peeps who inspired me to get into dev. I'm happy to report that I purchased a laptop earlier today and will be shedding Godot 4 for Unreal 5 coming this week. I'm leveling up. I'm coming home. Welcome home, brother. We're glad to have you in the Unreal Engine community. Otten also mentioned that he finally is getting a new computer starting tomorrow. So yeah, we're so back. We're so back. Hey, I'm a farmer and a game designer doesn't mean you can't be both. Exactly. Otten's a perfect example. He's a fantastic animator. He's a game designer. He wears multiple hats. His day job is a farmer, right? That's what he does outside game dev, and he's still able to make some dope stuff. So don't ever think that because you're one thing, don't box yourself in, right? And also, I think it's really important to not put your entire being into your day job, right? Like I see so many people who are like people I work with who their job is their whole life and their identity is their job, which, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, right? But, what happens if you lose that job? It's like your identity is gone. That's not good. So I think it's important to have things and hobbies and people you're passionate about outside the work you do. And I don't think your personal fulfillment should necessarily come from your job. If you can do something that you love for work, great, fantastic. But I think it's important to have hobbies and things you care about outside of those jobs. Because, at the end of the day, if you end up losing that job or, you find out that job's not a good fit for you, you still have that thing you care about, and then you just go and find money somewhere else, right? Money doesn't really matter. Money matters in the sense that, like, you want to be comfortable, you want to be housed, you want to, like, not worry about it. But, that chicken sandwich at the end of the day is going to taste the same whether you have $1 million in your bank account or, $1,000, right? What, Otten's getting one? Otten was a hero with his rig. That's awesome. Otten, my 2012 laptop with 8 gigabytes of memory and a 1050 graphics card is going away. Yeah, honestly, throw that thing in the river like they did with the briefcase full of Jumanji, right? Just wrap it in concrete and then throw it away until the next generation pulls it out and plays a game with it and they're cursed by it. Just make sure Robin Williams isn't in there before you toss it in the river. Also a member of the security industry, I can attest that becoming an electrician is an excellent choice in career. Exactly. Like, even if you're not super passionate about it, that's a perfectly good career path. You can always pivot too. I mean, people pivot all the time. My brother, he works as a machinist. He was teaching himself, programming to, like, move into that industry. It took 4 months to earn it. Oh no, I'm selling the parts. Yeah. I was more just joking about, like, tossing it in the river. I was more just wanting to make a Jumanji reference, the original with Robin Williams, the good one. No offense to, Jack Black and Kevin Hart and The Rock and the other girl. I haven't seen the movie, so don't hate me. Well, I've seen it. I just don't remember it. For me, who grew up with 8 siblings, it's my dream to be a game dev. We want something that we can all play. That's awesome. That's an admirable dream. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just because it looks hard, don't sell yourself short. Like start picking up some piecemeal stuff. Like, open up like some Brackeys tutorials or something, right? I mean, games like Jackbox started as like a super simple concept, and now, it's a game you can play with a bunch of your friends just on your phone, and it's one of the most successful games of probably our generation, I'd say. You're in the right. Are you in the Discord? Join it right now. Hey, yeah. I was gonna say, our Discord's a pretty good place for hanging out. Obviously we're there to, like, promote our games a little bit, but in general, we just like talking about game design, and we're all just kind of trying to encourage each other along, So, yeah, we'd be happy to have you. Oh no, Robin Williams Jumanji is the only Jumanji. Actually has some absolutely incredible VFX. Yeah, it really held up. Man, what is it about those late 90s movies that just, like, looked so good in terms of, like, CG? Also, I had nightmares about, like, turning into a monkey after watching the original Jumanji, because the kids turned into monkeys. Yeah, so I had like dreams about like turning into a monkey and getting sucked into a board game. Which, you know, I'm a bit of a monkey now, and I guess I am sucked into game dev, so really my nightmare came true, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So, hey. It's easy. Look up Royal Skies. He made some good videos for Blender. Yeah. Royal Skies is good. CG Cookie has some good stuff. There's just, I mean, there's so much stuff. I'm thinking about starting a new forum in our Discord, just having to do with informative like tutorials and stuff, things that we've like picked up over the years. We actually put out a can't join the Discord. Oh no. Hold on. We're gonna figure this out. Let me see if I can get like an invite. I'll just like drop it in the stream. Yeah, we want you there, man. How do I share this? Let's see. Create invite. Copy. Here we go. Opening. Apologies for the delay, everybody. We gotta get this. Gotta get this out there. We gotta let the people have a hub to hang out, talk about games, play games, talk about nonsense, work on games, all the good stuff. Yeah, so if you copy that link into your browser, it should take you to the Skunk Ape community. Hey, there you go. There I am in the chat. Everybody give a nice wave to Rakiza. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. My bad if not. Welcome, man. Great to have you. Oh yeah, that's actually really important. Choose your side. So we have 3 factions, which I guess I should talk about right now, right? So in this game, Captain McSpacebiff, the one we're talking about right now, we have 3 factions. We have we've got the aliens. We've got the Soviet Union, and we've got Planet America, which is the middle guy, but also where Captain McSpacebiff is from. Uh-oh. Stream. Yeah, there's a we're gonna do some kind of cool stuff based off of like alliances and stuff once we're like closer to releasing the game. But the 2 primary factions in the game are the Soviet Union and Planet America, right? So the premise of Captain McSpacebiff is what if in the 60s the US won the Cold War? And obviously this is like, it's kind of like Fallout, it's just kind of like goofy fun, right? But the idea is, you know, in this wacky atom punk world, you know, the US, the United States, won the Cold War, right? But the Soviets beat us to space. Took alien civilization. Ooh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have some 3-way fights up in here. Nice. But yeah, the premise is, yeah, what if America won the Cold War, right? So we win the Cold War, and we don't really have as much of a reason to go to space anymore, right? One of the main reasons we were so big on the space race is we were trying to beat the Soviets, and also kind of bankrupt the Soviets while doing it, right? But the idea is we won, but the Soviets beat us to space. So in their defeat, they retreat to the moon and build a secret Soviet space base and start a new faction called the Soviet, not Union, Soviet Moonion. I know, super stupid pun, but kind of funny. And over time, since the Soviets aren't there to stop them, and America, like gets things rolling. Uh-oh. Stream froze. That was weird. Anyway, basically, America, gets the ball rolling. They start, bringing everyone into the fold, and it eventually becomes Planet America, which is again super stupid. But as Planet America becomes a thing, the Soviet Union finally comes back out from the dark side of the moon, and they start lobbing nukes at each other, and it's just crazy. And they're at basically a gridlock where neither of them are making headway. So in order to progress this war, they start venturing out into the galaxy and start colonizing different planets in order to get resources and like footholds and everything. Now I'm going to be getting a really fast PC. I can work on 2 projects, game and a free plugin to make other game devs lives easier. Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, making plugins is honestly, people like you are a lifesaver. That's like the reason we're able to kind of pick Deadlock back up is we're working with some pretty cool VR plugins that allow for like grip stuff without us having to develop it. So definitely speeding up the development process. But yeah, so you play as Captain McSpacebiff, who is a brand new fresh captain in the Planet America Space Corps, right? One of the farthest colonies, well actually the farthest colony, the far reach of space, thousands and thousands of light years away, it's gone dark, right? It's the newest colony. They have a quantum computer relay that sends messages back and forth, and generally the idea is how quantum computers work is by affecting one atom somewhere, you're able to affect another atom somewhere else, regardless of distance. So you set up a quantum computer, you're able to send information at light speeds, but also over infinite distance immediately. So even a colony that's thousands of light years away, you'd be able to communicate with. Their relay has gone down, so they take you, their newest recruit, slap you in a spaceship, freeze you like a popsicle, and launch you 200 light years away until you get there. By the time you show up, everything has gone to crap. Civilization has fallen apart. The Planet American colonists are super dumb now because they've been eating nothing but Coca-Cola and hot dogs for 100 years and inbreeding and soaking up radiation and all this other good stuff. And the Soviet Union is they've gone silent, but upon your arrival they kick back up. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but it gets pretty crazy from there. But yeah, your ship crash lands and you lose all the ship parts, and your ship parts go scattering across the entire world, kind of similar to games like Pikmin. And the premise of the game is you got to get those parts for your ship and put them back together in order to get back home and report and everything. But one of the main things we're doing is your ship parts that you find strewn across the planet, either like stolen or guarded or whatever, they give you upgrades to your character, kind of similar to games like Metroid or ooh, that's kind of weird looking. Ignore those blurry textures. I gotta update something real quick. It's my VRAM being too small, because I made the mistake of trying to open what do you call it, Discord while streaming. I don't know why, but it always like messes up the streaming pool for Unreal. There we go. That's looking much better, much better, much better. Sounds like a whole movie. Yeah. Funny enough, the closest movie I could probably compare it to is a movie called Idiocracy, which is it's from Mike Judge, the maker of like Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. But yeah, okay, let me show you like one of the upgrades. Obviously, it's not going to look like an orange Mario box, but imagine this is like one of your ship parts that you find, right? In this case, it would be like the booster pack from your like escape pod. Before you get it, you can dodge, but you can only dodge on the ground. Now that you get this, it allows for dodging in the air. And it's going to have like more effects and stuff. Then also things like super jumps, that kind of thing. Or you could find a different part that, let me see if I can, ooh, avoid that guy. Yeah, I love the air dodge. And then there's also another upgrade that allows you to roll through enemies and kill them. Obviously it won't kill them, but in order to test that the roll now does damage, we had to crank it all the way up because it wasn't like chunk. But yeah, that's the general premise of the game. I'm glad you like the idea of it. The plugins I'm making are just time savers. The opinion menu I'm guessing you mean option menu plugin is so other devs don't go through hell. Maybe I'm misreading that. Yeah, option menu. Yeah. I'm gonna make 2 plugins. A damage system. Yeah. Again, damage systems. It's not something you think about, but it's something basically every game needs. If you have enemies, we had to build a damage system. And if we had a plugin, probably would have saved us a lot of time. So yeah, I think that's super cool that you're building plugins. You're the unsung hero of the games industry. Options, yeah, I spelled it wrong. Slide booster. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, funny enough, that's actually one of the things we have planned, where you can do like kind of like a slide tackle, but also it's just it rockets you forward. Yeah, what we're going to do is have like a regular, like almost like Call of Duty slide, right? But then you like do the boost with it, and it'll just like make you go faster and then kind of like barrel through people. Oh, you haven't seen the rock formation? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm kind of building this like cavern here. Obviously, it's not going to be completely cavern. I'm going to like build walls and stuff into it. Okay, bear with me very, very quickly. I want to show this off. It might crash the stream because my computer can't really handle this scene and the million other things I'm running in the background right now. It runs fine on its own, but I would like to show you guys the overworld. Every game has a damage system even when there is no enemies, like a destroy block. Exactly. Yeah, and a damage system is like so reusable. Like you can use a damage system for an enemy, and you can use a damage system for like destructible boxes, just like deleting things. It's super, super handy, and you kind of need one if you have a game that's gonna have enemies or anything that needs to like go away, right? Even like non-confrontational games like just like an Animal Crossing style game needs a damage system, right? Because if you're like attacking a box and you need the box to open and break, that's a damage system. So super useful to have a plugin like that. Okay, fingers crossed, everyone. We're gonna see if this this vertical slice map opens. I think you'll be okay as long as I don't load the scene. Okay, so this is, what is going on? Still alive? Great. Fantastic. I loved it. I love to see it. Love to hear it. These trees are gonna get like reworked at some point. But this is our like overworld for our demo. So it's just kind of to showcase a variety of environments and stuff. Alien hanging out. Pod ship, that kind of stuff. So the base I've been building is actually going to be under this mountain right here. But yeah, when you load into here, this area over here, I don't want to show it too much because it's spoilers a little bit, but this is the crash site for McSpacebiff. That's the ship. It's a kind of big ship, right? Because it has to like go through space for hundreds and hundreds of years. This is going to be kind of the entrance to this giant underground Soviet facility. But before you get in there, you have to help a guy with a history test. I know it sounds super stupid. It almost sounds like something that'd be like an episode of a cartoon or whatever, but that's kind of the premise of the game. It's just like super goofy stuff. Like, also, a good example is our speeder bike right now. You know, this super cool design. It's so stupid. This is not the final design, but we didn't have a finalized design and we wanted to start testing the speeder bike. So I just made a sign that says speeder to let people know what you're riding. Speeder, woo! Yeah, speeder. Yeah, this is like kind of a hodgepodge of environments, right? They wouldn't be this smashed together in the final thing. That's like the city that all the NPCs live in. I haven't finished that yet, but you know, we got desert biome. We got all the classics. We've got grasslands. We've got desert, and we've got red. Everybody loves red. That's my favorite type of environment, red. Anyway, so Elden Ring, yeah, woo. Yeah, it's kind of like K-Lid a little bit. The trees are really, I should turn these off because they're not finalized or anything, right? I just wanted to like see the general scale of things like trees. Anyway, yeah, so you'll like run around and do like little quests and stuff here. The final game will be much larger than this, but what we're doing right now is we're building what we're calling a vertical slice of the game, right? We wanted people to get a feel for running around in the overworld, doing like little small missions, fighting some enemies in an open environment, and then once they do that for a little bit, they get to load into this dungeon. And that's generally how McSpacebiff is going to work. It's going to have this like open world where you like find different like ship parts and stuff, and then you have a more traditional level steeped somewhere in the open world where you can access it, whether it be like a dungeon or, you know, somewhere that loads in entirely else. By the way, Auden is saying, by the way, after I'm done with my current game, I'm going to watch every single Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and then make an 80s action game. Oh, dude, that sounds awesome. Please take inspiration from Predator, because that is like one of my favorite films ever. Back when I used to make maps for Halo 3 using the Forge, I made so many variations of like Predator game modes. It was so good. Do it! Kill me now! It's just so stupid, but oh man, I love classic Arnie. Dude, this environment is so great. It's going to be an excellent world to run around in. Yeah. you know, how to do demos. I like the idea that people will download a demo and get all this is just freaking great. It's too much, to be honest. Because it's like we're kind of going overboard like we did with Denizen, right? And I think if you watch real quick, Denizen should be, I think it's up next. Let's see. Yeah, that's Denizen, right? So Denizen, we built like this whole prototype with like all these like different systems, like RPG mechanics, climbing mechanics, all these different weapons, different enemy types, different environment types. The demo / prototype, I think, lasts over an hour, which a lot of games don't even last that long. But, you know, we wanted to give a really in-depth showcase of all the potential of the game. And it's kind of the same thing with Captain McSpacebiff, right? You know, I mean, we're doing the same thing again where, you know, you've got these like kind of like role-playing mechanics, right? Ignore the dialogue because it's like super goofy right now. Also, who's shooting me? Was it the alien? Probably the alien. Yeah, so it's got like RPG mechanics. It's got, you know, it's like Dark Souls a little bit because, you know, you got like the third person combat. We're gonna have like the lock-in system and melee, and then all the different gun types. So yeah, it's kind of a lot for a 2-man team, but you know, it's the type of game we want to play, type of game we want to make. I really want to make an RP game / open world game. It's fun to see how people act and such. So that's awesome. Be warned though, RPGs are the hardest type of game to make, right? Because you have to make all this content that people might not see, right? Like if they move past it or they miss your character, that's hundreds of lines of dialogue. That's a whole quest that you had to program. That's fighting, there's item logic, all these things that you have to test that a player may never see, right? So generally speaking, things like first-person shooters or like third-person action games are a little bit easier. We're making it harder on ourselves by adding in RPG mechanics, but that's just because we're insane. But there are plenty of ways to do it. And, you know, if you like the idea, maybe start with something small and then work up to it. One of the things you're going to, Auden is saying, one of the things he's going to add to his like 80s action game is no reload. Interesting. The game will also be directed by Michael Bay, demolition expert. That's too funny. I'm Sim Cook saying, yeah, I know y'all think it's too much, but I really admire how much you're putting into it. It was always an awesome experience to download a demo thinking you get an hour or two of gameplay and then get way more. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, and also the way I'm designing this level, right? It's a non-linear level, so you can play it in any order. So, and that's something I kind of miss as a kid. Like, I remember getting those like demo discs on like different games and stuff. And like, for instance, there was an F-Zero, you know, the like Captain Falcon Racer game for like GameCube that had a demo. And the demo was only one track, and I think you could play for an hour, but you could just keep reloading that same demo over and over and over and over and over. And I think it also had like Rogue Squadron on it, and it's just like, to me as like a kid who that was just insane, right? That was awesome. Like being able to like get that much time and like fun out of a demo was always so cool. And you know, I ended up like wanting to get the game because it's like I loved the game. Same thing, there was a demo for, I think it was like Matrix Reloaded, which you had like the bullet time and it was like one level only, but it's like the mechanics were so cool, especially as like someone who was like at the time barely allowed to play teen rated games. I was like, this is awesome. It's like, why did they like put all these demos on the game? It's just like, you know, they wanted people to find out about it. And, you know, I just feel like demos have kind of gone away, and it's very sad. They've been like swapped out for like early access, but it's not the same thing, right? Nothing beats a demo disc. Thanks for tonight. Gotta go sleep now. Well, hey man, thanks for hanging out. It's always good to have new people, and thanks for joining the Discord. My other friend Will, he streams Mondays and Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Usually about 2 or 3 hours. He does like character design and stuff, which is like super cool, and like animation rigging. We're probably gonna start showing some more like Deadlock development soon. But yeah, I'm always streaming on this window, Tuesdays and Thursdays. 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you ever want to hang out again, we're here. And, you know, if you just want to hang out in the Discord, we're there too, man. So great to have you. Enjoy them Z's. And we'll see you on the next one. 80s action movie. One-liners as well as from the player. That is like your brain on bullets. Yeah, dude. Those like classic 80s action films are so good. I'm Sim Cook, or like when they add a demo to a full game. Like I remember one of the Resident Evil games having the Devil May Cry demo for it on PS2. Yes. I didn't get a PS2 until like way later, right? I think I got a PS2 when we got like an Xbox 360. So by then, like the PS2 like kind of seemed like not as impressive. There was still so many cool games that I'd love to play. Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront. Both really good, and like a fun game I could play with my brothers. And then Jack 3 was awesome. All those old like Excite Bike like racing games, Devil May Cry, that kind of stuff. SOCOM, super cool. Man, yeah, I miss demos. Yeah, one of the games I've been following for a little while that is a speaking of PS2 is kind of like a PS2 style platformer is called Big Catch. And dude, if you haven't seen this game, they have a demo out right now that is like an offshoot of it. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to pause the music real quick just so I can show this off because this is awesome. That was a little loud. But yeah, it's like an old PlayStation 2 style game, and it's like a platformer where you use like the fishing rod for everything, which is, I always love that, where it's like a really versatile mechanic. The music is fantastic too, and it's like this like nice mix between like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 graphics and like a lot of those like old GameCube games. Yeah, so this game has a demo out, right? I think it's called Big Catch Tackle Box, which you're actually seeing gameplay from their demo, Big Catch Tackle Box, where you play as, I think, the main character's like alter ego Tackle. You know, the Shadow to the Sonic, right? The Vegeta to Goku. But yeah, that game has a demo on Steam. You can go play it. You can play it as long as you want, and it's like a full little open world, and it's got all these platforming mechanics. It's fantastic. The Big Catch, I've heard of this game. Yeah, Auden. Yeah, it's really cool. It had a Kickstarter a while back. met the goal, obviously, because it looks great. Yeah, really excited to see that, it got the funding and, the final game is going to come out. I haven't played the demo because I'm like saving the experience just for like the full game, right? I've wishlisted it. But I'm like a huge fan of those like classic platformers. I'm Some Cook says, oh man, this is excellent looking Psychonaut style. I'm absolutely loving it. Dude. So weird that you bring up Psychonauts. I've been playing Psychonauts too. Like these like last 2 weeks with my girlfriend. Just flipping in and out. She'll play some and then I'll play some. Psychonauts 2 is one of the best platformers I've ever played. I now understand why it took Double Fine like a decade to make it. Psychonauts 2 is so good, just in terms of like its design, its characters, its music, its environments. It's so crazy to me that every single level, I mean, keeping in theme with the first Psychonauts, where every single level you play has its own theme, its own like premise, its own art style and assets. Like at one point you like go into, I don't want to like spoil it, but you go into a character who is played by Jack Black. You go into his brain, and it's like all psychedelic and everything, and they change the art style for it. And every environment is like different. Like one of them is like themed like a dentist, one of them is like a casino. They're all so, one of them has like a cooking game show in it. And you have to like collect ingredients and like, oh man, it's just so good. It's so good. Like it's not too often that I gush about a game, but like there's just been so many good like puzzle platformers recently, and I'm so glad to see like there's like a bit of a renaissance. And they're all coming from the indie sphere, right? It Takes Two is from an indie studio. Again, same kind of premise where every level they add in a new mechanic, they add in a new style of level, and then it's completely different. Same thing with Psychonauts. There's a new premise every single time. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I miss that, right? I found out about the game last month. Yeah. Dude, that makes me so happy to hear. I still haven't played it, and I want to so bad. It looked amazing. Okay, so there's an insane story behind the cooking game show level. Oh, interesting. I literally just finished that level Sunday. So yeah, I'm interested to hear the premise behind it. The concept's really cool. Essentially the premise of the level is you go in someone's mind, and they're also a telepath, right? And they have the ability to talk to animals, but they're like super nervous and like shy. And they're like reeling from a lost love, right? So you're there to, funny enough, get a bowling card from him so you can go into a bowling alley. In order to get it from him, you have to like find some things for him. Then he has like a little manic episode, and you're there to like help him through it, right? And it's a game show in his brain hosted by animals, since he's a telepath that can talk to animals. But the animals also represent his like co-workers and compatriots, and to him they're like judging him, and they think he's like not good enough, and essentially you have to like help him work through that. It's really, really cool. Seen the gameplay video, not the trailer for the big catch. Gotcha. Yeah, super cool if you like platform games. Also, I've seen gameplay of it where you can kind of just get moving at insane speeds. Like the tech in it is really cool. So I think the speedrunning community is really gonna like it, especially like the type of people who like games like like Spyro or like Jack and stuff. I'm Sim Cook. I obsessively watched all the Double Fine documentary stuff covering their kickstarted adventure game Broken Age and their yearly 2-week game jam competition called Amnesia Fortnite. It's an interesting. I've never heard of that. So basically, one year the director of photography of the documentary crew actually got accepted into their game jam. He pitched his idea and was accepted. It was the cooking game show level, but in the form of a little vignette where you are cooking for a god who is slowly nearing your kitchen. They liked it so much that they then invited him to make it into a level for Psychonauts 2. Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, I was going to say a lot of the levels in Psychonauts feel like they could just be their own little small game. So it's really not surprising that it was its own game, right? Because it has its own mechanics separate from the entire rest of the game. Yeah, dude, that's sick. Thanks for that little nugget. That's interesting little tidbit. Very, very cool. All right, let's see. What am I doing here? Just kind of absent-mindedly placing walls. How's that different from what I'm normally doing? I don't know. Not doing it as well. I think I'm gonna extend this out just a smidge. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna extend this. Why are these not on the cell snap? This is bothering me. That's probably good, right? We'll just taper this in more. I need corner piece. I'm gonna bring the corner piece. Rotate. There we go. I figured it out. Math is not my strong suit. But that's okay. The engine handles it for me. I'm gonna destroy that. And that. Man, as much as I am loving working on McSpacebiff, and it's always like, you know, super cool to see a level like come together really quickly. I'm excited to like be working on VR stuff again. Just especially from like a level design perspective. Seeing a level in VR versus like on a screen is a completely different experience, right? Like you just get a sense of scale that is unmatched. So if you're going to build like really grandiose stuff, seeing those levels in VR is like super cool. And all the stuff we originally made for McSpacebiff, not McSpacebiff, Deadlock, we didn't put a lot of it in because we didn't do the locomotion because people were getting sick from it. But now people are more used to it and they're stronger of mind and will and stomach. So I'm excited to try some kind of conceptually new stuff in VR that might not necessarily work for a faster paced game, right? You can really kind of put more effort into just detailing an environment because people are going to spend more time in it and they can shove their face up in it. Psychonauts 1 and Otten is saying Psychonauts 1 and 2 had something unique about each level. Like 1, the milkman conspiracy, and 2, first level of the first mine. I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. Oh man, finding out the milkman is just like a pyromaniac and the milk is like gasoline firebombs in his brain was so funny. Oh man, I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. That's all I remember of that. Yeah, like I said, the Psychonauts 2 just kind of takes everything they did in Psychonauts 1 and puts it to 11, which is great, right? Because it's, generally from a sequel, you kind of want conceptually it to be pretty similar. Like Psychonauts 2 feels like a classic game made now, if that makes sense. Whereas like a lot of like remakes and everything, or extensions of like classic series, they don't have that like je ne sais quoi, that X factor that's like really hard to put a finger on. I don't know if I'm describing it well, but a lot of like a lot of like remasters and stuff, they don't have the same like heart the originals do, and I was very worried about Psychonauts 2 kind of being like in that situation where I loved the original so much. I was afraid that the sequel might have been too modernified, but they did not. It really felt like a classic game. Deadlock is back. Crazy. Yeah, VR dev is on another level. Yeah, well, and also, Deadlock is a different type of game, right? Especially now that we're able to do locomotion, and most people can handle it and not completely throw up. I can make non-room scale levels. I can make more like Halo Firefight and Call of Duty Nazi Zombie style levels, where you unlock different tiers as you progress. Maybe there's like some puzzles and stuff. In the original Deadlock, we were at one point designing a boss fight where you fought Dagon from like Cthulhu, like Eldritch Monster Dagon, and it didn't quite work with room scale VR because you can't move around, you can't really dodge him, and you can't really have like a big lumbering monster like swinging at you if you only have like a 6x6 play space to dodge him, right? But if you can move around, we can have him like smashing the arena, right? And then also when you have like tactile grip and stuff, the stuff Will is setting up right now where you can like pick things up in the environment. Maybe some puzzles. Maybe there's an artillery cannon that you have to pick up shells from one end of the map and load them in, and then spin the wheel to kind of like line it up to Dagon and then shoot him with it. And then once he's hit with that, then you can take out your guns and shoot the weak points. Do like an interactive VR boss fight. I don't know. I'm just saying that might be something we do at some point. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do VR. I'm excited to we're gonna keep some stuff behind closed doors until it's like more ready to show. But I think what do you call it? Like, I guess it's not our 1.0 update, but basically our back to basics update, where it's we're going to get all of the original enemies from the game reworking in Unreal, and then also add in a few varieties of gun, add in a new level, and we'll go from there. Psychonauts 1 levels, I can't even decide which one's your favorite. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the level where you're kind of like Godzilla for level, and you're just like stomping around the city, and then they're all like screaming and everything. I really like that level. The Milkman level was crazy. Oh man, yeah, it was just so good, and yeah, so far it's hard to say what my favorite level is. In the new one. Speaking of VR and Psychonauts, they actually made a VR game called The Rhombus of Ruin. I didn't play it because I didn't have PlayStation VR, but it looked pretty cool. Apparently, it came out with some mixed reviews though. It's possible, I don't know a lot about it, but it's possible that those were just kind of because people were upset it wasn't Psychonauts 2, right? Kind of the same vein that like people were a little upset with Half-Life Alyx just because it wasn't Half-Life 3. So I don't know. Could be good. I'd love to play it someday, but I don't have PSVR and I'm not gonna buy it for one game. So oh well. Oh shoot! No way, Dagon boss fight. That is extremely exciting. Yeah, dude, we're gonna do some cool stuff. Yeah, and don't quote us on it or anything because we're still figuring out the limitations, and we don't want to push too much, too fast, too quickly. So we're just gonna start out with changing how the guns work a little bit, and then also add in locomotion, and then get all the original enemies back to working in non-room scale. On in the night. I want to try and make a VR game, but I think it's a bad idea because I don't think players would be able to handle the speed. Yeah, take it from us. Players do not do well with speed in VR, right? And I think that was probably one of our problems with Deadlock is we gave the player a sprint that makes them go like 30. It made them go like 30 miles an hour, and I could handle it, right? Like it would like disorient me a little bit, but it was like really cool to like scoot across the room really, really quick. But people couldn't even handle the base speed. So we're having to do a lot of things with the locomotion where it's like a gradual locomotion picking up. What is this guy? Excuse me. No. Cheap views on hambuku.com. Yeah, no. No one touched that virus link. Let me get out of here with your cheap viewers. We don't want cheap views, we want premium views. Banned. Get banned. Cool. Yeah, get out of here with your cheap views. Get out of here. Get out of here. We don't want low prices, we want premium prices. Y'all ever seen that Tim and Eric bit? Pretty good. Let's see. I'm kind of liking how this room's turning out. I think I'm gonna replace these with half walls. Yeah, there's just one right there. It's like waiting for me. It's like it knew. It's like it knew I'd need it. Half walls answer the call. Half walls of Rohan. These ones are not though. Please, give me, please. I would like to snap these together. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Would you kindly? Man, it's getting to be that time of year again where it is time for me to play through BioShock. My favorite, I guess now old school crap your pants simulator. It's not terribly spooky, but It's definitely like creepy at points, right? Especially the original. Not Infinite. We don't. I'm probably gonna get some flack for this, but I did not care for Infinite. Right? Conceptually, very, very cool. Also, the game they showed originally was much more interesting than what they put out, which, hey, that happens. I am all too familiar with that, right? Like being really ambitious and wanting to kind of put something out like broad and experimental and just being like, oh yeah, no, I don't have the time or resources to do that, so here's the pared back version. And you already talked so much about the like prime peak zeitgeist version that it's like impossible to reconcile the fact that like the pared back version is also like a perfectly okay game. I'm talking about Root in this situation, where Root was supposed to be a 3-chapter game, which is why the first 10 levels were all office building, right? It was meant to like kind of lull you to assault like a false sense of security and then pull the rug out from underneath you in chapter 2. And we were gonna like change the mechanics on you and everything, just because we thought it was like neat and more of an experience. But when we got with our publisher, they suggested that we release the first 10 levels instead of waiting, and then we released Root during the worst launch window in a decade, thanks to their suggestion. So shout out to them for that. I'm not bitter. I'm really not. It's just like, oh man, just like we couldn't have possibly picked a worse time to launch. We launched next to Fallout 4. I don't remember which Halo. I think it was Halo 5. Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, I think a Borderlands game, all in the span of that same week. And we had a kind of not that pleasant to look at first-person shooter, indie first-person shooter, and no one covered us, because why would they? It's like, why am I gonna, what? No, I'm not gonna cover your game. I've got to cover a Halo, Assassin's Creed, Fallout, all these like giant blockbuster games that haven't had a big release in 6 years. No, I'm not gonna talk about your like dinky stealth action shooter that everything looks like it's made out of Jello. So no, good luck. Ooh. Catching up on chat here. I would just put a big warning that says, warning, there's motion sickness in caps on both the trailer, the storefront, and when you open the game. You'd think that'd be enough, but people are going to play it and they're going to throw up and they're going to blame you for it. But if you put all those like disclaimers, that's on them, right? Because I want to make a Samurai VR game, which is just my current game, but in VR. Your current game in VR would have my eyeballs melt, dude. I mean, I like the idea of it. Super cool. But maybe you throw in like some slow motion stuff to kind of help a little bit. Because, man, that game is fast paced and most people probably can't even keep up on a standard monitor. But hey, man, that's how we move the medium, right? Push those boundaries. So I say go for it. Dude, if you think about it, let me know when you go through Bioshock again, because I'm about to go through it too. Yeah, I hope. We know Kenny Boy delivers with Judas, which we all know it's going to end up being revealed to be a Bioshock sequel in the last act of the game. Oh, man. That'd be very funny. Yeah, Judas looks good. Like, he looks like he has a little bit more creative control. Yeah, I don't know. I am hesitantly optimistic about Judas. Because I did, I really liked, all those first BioShock games. By the way, I was making textures for my game, but I'm bad at making the face. I wanted to made a Goro Mojima by accident. You're not gonna cover something original, are you crazy? Yeah. It already has slow-mo. We have games that are just caricatures of themselves at this point to cover. Yeah, but you also have to think about, like, as a, like, news article, right? Like, they need to cover those stories because that's what's going to get views. And if they don't do that, their website goes down. Excuse me. Apparently I had an allergic reaction to saying that game journalists should cover big games over indie games. Just a physical reflex. Just like, oh. But also, like, game journalists now, they have so little integrity anyway. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Obviously not all. But, like, IGN is giving Space Marine 2 like a 6 out of 10 when they were giving Concord a 7. Is insane. It's just like, okay, was that a nice paycheck from Sony that you got there to give them the 7? And meanwhile, you're saying that Space Marine, a like universally liked game that has beautiful graphics, solid gameplay, interesting campaign, lore out the wazoo, because like what has more lore than 40K? And you're giving it a 6. It's like a playable, stable co-op game when there's no co-op games. So yeah, like I have zero respect for game journalists. I don't want to say that. It's just like when you're giving Concord a 7, a game that is like so unliked, it gets taken down after the first 2 weeks, versus Space Marine 2, which is like universally getting like good reviews from everybody, is a stable game, looks good, is kind of interesting, and has some of the best swarm mechanics I've ever seen in a game, minus like maybe World War Z, but World War Z wasn't that great of a game. Yeah, just like tell me you're a shill without telling me you're a shill. It's like that just screamed bot review to me. I mean, like purchase, not bot, but also kind of a bot review, right? It's just they turned their brain off and then spat something out. It's like, oh, I don't like Space Marine, so I'm gonna give it a low score. It's just like, no, you need to be like able to think about a game outside your own perspective if you're gonna write reviews. It's like me as someone who's not like a particularly huge Marvel fan saying that like In-Game is a bad movie, right? Because it's exactly what everyone wanted from it. Like the type of people who want to see Endgame loved Endgame, and I enjoyed it. But it, obviously, it's like not my favorite type of movie. But for me to go, Snow Citizen Kane, 2 out of 10, it's just like, no, you don't need to be a journalist. You got to give like unbiased reviews on things. Cannot believe the Space Marine score is coming out. Yeah, me neither, man. Otten. So I was trying to make a PSX soldier. I made a PSX Majima. He truly is everywhere. He's in your walls, man. He's in your motherboard. Using your power supply. You blink and he's gonna be there. Freaking PC Gamer gave it a 60. They scored Star Wars Outlaws higher. Star Wars Outlaws is an aesthetically kind of okay looking game because it's Star Wars and it's really hard to like. Even like when Star Wars is bad, it's like pretty good, right? Just from they have so much to pull from, it's hard to mess it up completely. But Star Wars Outlaws seemed very uninspired. I saw a lot of glitches. The graphics. I don't think the graphics look bad. A lot of people say they do. I'm one of those people who are just like, once graphics hit a certain level, it's fine, right? That's not what I care about. But for how uninteresting the game looked, I felt the graphics probably should have been better. Also, the wind physics. Not wind physics is a wrong way to say it, but like the foliage in that game really bothers me, right? Like the frequency that it moves at is like so fast and shaky is awful. Like it's just like jittery and like the hair is jittery. It's like the sine wave that they're using to like move the foliage in the world is too violent and it immediately took me out of it. It's like obviously that's like such a small complaint in comparison, but just dumb. Yeah, look for any of the foliage in the world and you'll see like it all just like jitters really, really fast. Like the leaves specifically on trees. Also the takedowns seem super lame. Take a look. Take a look, take a look, take a look. What is this? Oh man. Alright, here we go. Here we go. That's too stupid. Yakuza is everywhere, man. I love it. That's so funny. Nice meme. I think we released a video today talking about like, I don't know. We made so many stupid videos recently. It's like kind of upsetting, right? Like the fact that you have to like make meme kind of shorts to like get any views on your channel. Oh, it's just like, come on, man. Like, let me just stream my game and give me $1 million. Is that too much to ask? Like the video from today is talking about like Minecraft parkour videos. All right, this is looking pretty good. Pretty good. This needs a door though. Man, I'm getting like a crazy headache right now. It's almost like I've stared at a screen all day. That couldn't have been it though. That's like, I'm pretty sure doctors say that's like good for you. Stare at the screen for 18 hours a day and then never see sunlight. Except through a window. What? Did I not? Oh, I didn't duplicate it. What have I done? I'm doubling my work. Oh, please. There we go. It's fun making games. Yeah, it is fun making games. Yeah, if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it. That's not true. It's oftentimes not fun. The end product's worth it, even when it's not fun. I would much be rather just playing underdogs right now. Underdog! Those of you who are not in the know, Underdog is a VR mech fighting game that is dope. It is very cool. And I have had it installed for a week now and have not had the liberty to play it, which makes me sad. Well, I've had the liberty to play it, I just haven't had the time because I work all the time. I never stop. I'm very tired. Okay. This needs to be duplicated. In this corridor section. Yeah, in a nice big cave. Yeah, it's Underdog, like DAWG, which is so funny to me. I actually don't need to extend this. Never mind, I lied. Oh my gosh, the headache. The brain worms. They're eating my brain. I should run for president. Did like an angled one already. Where is my work? There is my work. Did I not? There it is. I'm gonna borrow this. Let me borrow this. Maybe it's because I didn't eat dinner. Sometimes a Celsius energy drink is dinner. Kids, do not model your life after me. That's really bad. Okay, and then I think there we go. We'll just do that. Take these off the grid. Take them one notch. That's looking okay. I'm gonna like sculpt this back a little bit. Oops. Oh, you know what? Where's that? No, please eat. Yeah. I normally eat too much, so this is a nice little break. A reminder that not eating is also bad for you. Oh, I could just be dehydrated. I haven't drunk much water on this stream. I've been so hyper-focused. Making games. I forgot that I'm a human. Funny enough, in our old like development studio, calling it a studio is like kind of a joke, but we used to call it the Vault. The Vault. Inspired from Fallout. Because that's how we got our start in game dev, is modding Fallout. And we just really liked it. But in the Vault, which was an old garage, old very dusty garage with like no AC, in Florida summer heat, which sucked. We had this like fridge that we kept all of our food in, and we were all very bad about remembering to eat, especially our friend Jonathan, who would not eat because he'd just be mixing dubstep for hours and hours. And Will was also especially bad about it. Actually, Will was probably worse. So I drew Jonathan's face on like a poster board. Not poster board, but like a poster paper. And I slapped it on the fridge. And it just said, "Remember to eat" on it. So when you'd pass by it, it was like a goofy face. So it'd make you laugh, and then you'd go, "Oh yeah, I should probably eat." And then, you'd go to the fridge and you get like an apple or something. Or we'd more likely just all go like, "Hey, have y'all eaten?" And everyone would go, "No." Be like, "Okay, do you want to all hop in a car and go get $1 McChickens at 3 in the morning?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, let's do that." Because that's all we can afford, because we're broke. I miss the $1 McChicken. And 24-hour Walmarts. We used to be a proper country. No longer can a starving game dev go to McDonald's at 2 in the morning, get a McChicken and a McDouble for $2, slap them together, and then meander around a Walmart at 3 a.m. barefoot while eating a monstrosity that can only be described as food. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. At least those experiences live on in my rattled memories. Yeah, we used to be legit. Well, I'm gonna go for now. See ya. See ya, Auden. Thanks for hanging out. We're probably wrapping the stream up in the next like 13 minutes or so. Mainly because it feels like someone is stabbing my eye with a needle without the benefit of giving myself Typhon powers. So that sucks. Probably just need more water and food and a shower. And maybe 8 hours bed rest for the first time in, I don't know, maybe a month. But the good news is this room's connected now. How about that? I'm gonna get rid of that alien so he doesn't shoot me. So yeah, now we have pathway from down here into that big room that did not exist. Not a mimic, yeah. Speaking of Prey, I played Prey Mimic Hunter VR last week when I got the Vive set up. It was interesting. To be honest, it was very disappointing. Because it was teleport only, which I'm not a big fan of teleport locomotion, right? I understand why it exists. People throw up if you make them glide around in VR without inner ear movement, right? But I will say, being in the Prey world in VR and like being able to pick things up and like just like look at them and shove my face in them and like do puzzles and see the looking glass in VR, that was really cool. And then the Prey VR game wasn't too bad, right? I got to play as excuse me. There we go. I got to play as Morgan, and the way that Typhon Hunter multiplayer works is you can play in VR and non-VR. So I played in VR as Morgan, and I ran around with a wrench, chasing players who were mimics, who would run around and like take form of something, but I think they could only stay in that form for a limited amount of time before they had to like get up and switch to something else, you know, to keep it fair and balanced. It was like me versus 5 mimics, and I was running around like hunched over in VR, just whack, 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 just like breaking the crap out of everything. And I hit my knuckle on, thankfully I didn't hit my TV, but I hit my knuckle on like the banister that my TV sits on. Oh, that did not feel so good. But I ended up killing all the mimics in Typhon Hunter VR, and that felt really good. Especially me being in VR and them being in, I'm assuming, not VR. But the biggest problem with playing Typhon Hunter in VR is it's teleport based, but there's no cooldown between the teleport. So you're just able to just whoop, whoop, just keep like dashing like infinitely. And I was able to like keep like warping in front. I was able to like keep warping in front of the mimics, right? And that must have been so scary to see, like playing as a mimic in Typhon Hunter. And then just seeing Morgan Yu like with a wrench, just like warp past you at like Mach speed, and then turn around and then just melee the crap out of you. But yeah, it was like kind of busted, right? It was like way too easy as Morgan. Yeah, so they're just like, what the hell's going on? Why is this guy like just teleporting like he's Corvo? It was fun though. I played exactly one game and I was like, okay, I got it. It just kind of sucked because like leaning over to attack stuff in VR, especially when you're like swinging a controller, you hit the ground. So it was just bad. Like it's a kind of bad design for a VR game. They're like, oop, did not mean to do that. They're like room scale thing though, where you like are like trying to solve a puzzle to break out of the room. It's basically a Prey styled escape room where you like figure things out, and you can teleport around the room, but it's all like very tactile and there's no enemies. That was really cool, but I after you've played Half-Life Alyx, it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit in an escape room for an hour by myself. It's kind of lame. It's cool, but it's like, you know, whatever. It's novel, is what I'm trying to say. But it does make me wish there was like a Prey Half-Life Alyx, right? Like that'd be, oh, that'd be cool. I'd buy any VR kit for that. I don't care what it was. I don't care if it was PlayStation. I'd do it. I would love to try this out. Just as a big Prey nerd, I would enjoy trying it. And as someone who hasn't played Alyx, yeah, it was kind of cool. It was free. That's why I liked it. I think it was free. What? Ooh. It is not free. Oh, that's right. They included it with Prey Moon Crash. That's what it was. Oh, that's so sad. Prey Typhon Hunter mostly negative. 32% of 642 users. Ooh. Did not add much to the Prey experience. Would not recommend. Not to mention the lobbies are dead. I think I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that it's not. I think people are just upset that Yeah, it's not really more Prey. It's just kind of a room, right? Could have been cool if they had done it in their proprietary engine. It clearly was made in a week or two in Unreal for the VR aspect. This multiplayer could have been fun to play with friends or something. Just play the base game. Can't even change the keys you use on the keyboard. And to play it, you also have to give them your email. What the hell? Oh, that was kind of lame. Also, they made you type on your keyboard while in VR. That sucked. I'd like, and the room was like turned around, so I'd like turn my head like this, and then take the mask off to like point at the screen and then type. So it was like kind of jank and messy. But Prey Moon Crash is very good. If you have not played Prey Moon Crash, play it. It's literally roguelite Prey. It's super cool. It's you can actually see the moon base from the station in the game. You can like look down and see like the dome. So yeah. Moon Crash is like super cool. I did not play it very long because when I had played it, I was still in the middle of playing Prey. And also it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I do not have time for roguelikes. And to me, one of the best things about Prey was like the story, right? Which Moon Crash has its own, you know, stuff going on, but I died after getting about maybe an hour into it, and I was like, I just can't do it, dude. I can't. I don't have the time. Otherwise, I would just keep playing it over and over and over because it's dope, right? All right, well, I think we have our 3 arenas now. We got this. We got our cooling center, and then I'm not going to tell you what this is going to be yet, but it's going to have like a lot of structures. It's not going to be just a cave, right? It's going to have some walls and stuff. It's just built around a cave because that's kind of cool, and it's a lot easier to close in. That's actually the main reason. While I'm at it, let me bring this way over here. What? Is this not on the grid? It's unfortunate. Let's see. Grid. Use cell snap. Yes. Where's cell? Oh, this doesn't have it. That's right. That's what's so annoying about it. That's fine though. I will set them to use it at some point. What? Does it like peek through on both sides? Okay, there we go. That's... Oop, hold on. We need to work on having these like actually occlude stuff because I don't think they currently do. Such a cool door. Very Star Wars. Very, very Star Wars. One of the only roguelikes I've enjoyed. Yeah, understandable. It's sick. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then let me just run through this whole thing real quick. So exciting to see this come together. Yeah. I always love when ideas come together. Yes, I added this like little ramp right here. Kind of integrated it into the wall. Oh, it needs to be... Let me do that. I don't want you getting hung up on it. Let's see if that works. I gotta roll it like that. Make sure it's not peeking to the top, which it is, which is annoying. Bring it down. There. There we go. Wow, that's loud every time. Nice. Okay, that's what I like. Yeah, so I put that there because I didn't like the player like having to run around and like loop there. But, you know, logically, enemies need a way to like get up there, even though they can probably navigate that. And also like structurally, this makes sense. Right. You come into this like giant amphitheater, which is not finished, but looking kind of cool. This guy's hanging out. And you're in the computer room, and then it's just like, ooh, what's over there? Is that a window? I want to. Ooh, what's that? Is that a window? I want to go to the window. We do this parkour jumping puzzle. And then you do a little crouch jump, and then you get in here, and then that's gonna be a thing at some point, but don't worry about it, because for now this comes through here, and now you're on the third level, and now you're boom, you're back here. It's all interconnected. Excuse me. I'm glad I came in here because that's a problem. Wow, he like went up 4 stories. That's crazy. He started down there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 stories. That guy's just hanging out over there. Boom, dead. This can probably just be. I don't even think I'm using it. Hold on. I was just barely. Yeah, that's not worth using that there. Let's do this. Way less likely I'm gonna like bust it up, right? Do it like that. Oh, come on. Cool. All right. He was determined. Yeah. They forgot to put the quit in him. All right. Well, now we've got kind of 3 different types of variety in this level. They're not like so crazy different, but it would be cool to be able to throw an explosive at certain rock areas above doorways and have them crash on enemies. That would be cool. Yeah, I am thinking like at some point having some form of like trap in the levels, whether it be like rocks or just like, you know, being able to drop like crates or things on people, or just even like open doors or electrify a floor, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I want to do that at some point, right? And then you mix and match it with the powers that you get throughout the game, like, you know, your heat shield or your like cooling system, that kind of stuff. Being able to like freeze enemies in place or set them on fire by activating it within a radius. give you more power-ups to like the melee, right? Give you more reason to melee. Like have like hot touch and cold touch. Like if you get enough combos on an enemy, they like freeze or catch on fire. That kind of thing. Minus just like you still get the passive as like the character, right? Like you can have more fire resistance or cold resistance. It allows you to enter areas you wouldn't normally be able to, kind of like in Dark Souls, like certain rings. But then also like there's a combat aspect to it. Kind of cool. Well, I think that's as good of a spot to stop as any. I mean, we have this like whole cavern now to work on next time. This whole like interconnected area. The bridge is looking a lot better. It's like nice and thick now, so people are able to traverse a little bit better. Just a little bit. Let me bring this back. There we go. Excellent work as always. Ah, you're too kind, man. But yeah, it's been great hanging out. Had a couple new faces in the crowd tonight, which is always a pleasure. Will's going to be streaming some stuff tomorrow at noon. Some stuff for Deadlock. I think he's going to be trying to finish up the guard, get him rigged and everything, so we can start, you know, animating him running around in VR, which is something I'm going to have to do. Which means I need to, believe it or not, I don't have Maya installed right now, so I have to reinstall Maya and kind of break away from this whole level design stuff for a bit. Yep. Oh, man, it's getting so close to being like a playable level, right? Obviously, it needs a ton of work, but you know, almost everything's connected now. I'm really digging how this is turning out. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. It's been super cool as always. Yeah. Catch you next time.